Okay, we should be live. This thing's probably going to start talking to me in my ear in just a second. Get everything set up here in neutral. Cool. Turn the volume down. There we go. So anyways, if you haven't been here before, welcome to my channel, Chasing Ghost. And my name's Tara Smith, and at the moment I'm live on a motorcycle. Now, this road up here after the curves and everything, I'm going to lose my signal a little bit and it'll start skipping out, but then once I get up to 90 I'll be fine. So just a little bit of forewarning, it's going to skip out a little bit. So how are all you beautiful people doing? I hope your day was wonderful. I kind of think I should have put my jacket on. I got it in the side here. It's in the bag. It ain't on me. But it's like a wonderful temperature. It's not too cold, but it is kind of a little bit chilly. You know, it's like maybe 68 degrees. So I shouldn't fare too bad heading home. And I still got bugs hitting me, so we should be good. So how's all your days going? Hopefully it's going well. I need to go on just a little bit more because I can hear myself in my ear, and I do not want to hear myself in my ear right now. And I just got off work. I'm heading home. I gotta be back at work early in the morning, so I gotta deliver 3 hours. Well, it's gonna be 3.5-ish, maybe 4, depending on where I grab fuel and how bad the line is, you know. In the morning, like, just to make sure that's live. Things going on. The signal's breaking up a little bit. We'll see how it handles everything. There we go, I got the signal back for a second. I'm getting hit with so many bugs right now. It's a bunch of them. It's about to be love bug season. If you live down in the south, you know exactly what I mean. Big swarms. They're all attached by the axe. Run through them and the whole thing's just covered. You know? If you don't have a full face helmet, I would suggest covering your mouth. They're gonna be in your teeth. But I got major issues going on with my physical right now. I'm gonna have to get another reading on my machine. Doctor was supposed to message me back that all this stuff's happening to. If you watch one of my earlier videos, the clinic I got sent to take my DOT physical, somebody reported them, I guess. Somebody got mad. Who knows? I have no idea. But anyways, they came through. I guess they didn't like something they saw or whatever. And now, as it stands right now, they voided a little over 15,000. It's like 15,200 something DOT physicals. One of which happens to be mine. And that is no bueno. Hospital. And I think reading should actually be good right now, but it's stuff like you're sick, you're not sleeping good, you're getting up. You can sleep for 8 hours, you know, or you can sleep like 7 hours and 50 minutes, but you got up right at like 3 hours and 59 minutes, and you turn the machine off. You know, you take it off and you go use the restroom, you go lay back down, and then the entire night doesn't count. You know, you went back to bed, you slept for another 3 hours and something, damn near 8 hours, and you might as well have not even used the machine. You know? That's insane. And I've been sick. You know, I've had issues and get up coughing and all that. And the way our government works, they don't give a damn. You know? They don't give a damn about any of that. All they want is numbers, and they want to make examples out of people, which I believe is what they're probably trying to do to the doctor. You know, here's a clinic, we're going to make an example out of them to show that we're doing anything. They're never going to solve the problem. You know? It's like people's minds are simple. You know, it's like putting a wall up on the southern border. There's strategic places, you know, that, you know, it helps funnel people and what have you. But, you know, the Great Wall of China was defeated, and it was more of a fortress than it was a wall. They had troops on top. They could signal each other. They could move troops back and forth and fight the invaders, or else it would have never worked. It wasn't so much the wall as the ability to move the troops around and, you know, have a structure they could fight from. That was the deal, and it was defeated. Patton said a wall is just a speed bump for an army. We're wanting to put a wall up for people that are digging holes underneath it and tunnels and train systems. They're building submarines to go out in the ocean. It's like, why don't you go after the companies that hire them? They're not going to do that. Because that would cost the wrong people money, and they're not really interested in solving a problem. They're interested in doing something, you know? So, that and most of the people that somebody thinks is illegal actually aren't. They just see, oh, yeah, you speak Spanish, or you speak Ukrainian or Russian. That's the other thing. They're coming after my people too, you know? And they say stupid shit. Like, oh, he can't drive in the snow. Talking about, you know, drivers from Eastern Europe. It's like, you realize where they're from, right? They've driven in some more snow probably than you. But they say the stupidest shit. But back to my physical thing, you know, with driving, I've got to get a new physical. As it stands right now, I've got until the 10th to get a new physical, and I've got to get a new reading, and I'm gonna have to get a new doctor. Hopefully it'll take the one I have from October, you know, because those doctors, it takes 3 months to get in. They're booked out for 3 months, and that would put me out of work for at least 2. So what do I do? I know I can get on a rant on all kinds of stuff, you know. It's like, my thing is, government doesn't necessarily want to solve a problem. They want to use it for political tools, keep the beach ball bouncing, something they can use to make money, and they don't want to actually solve a problem. Because if they solved it, why would you vote for them? It's like, okay, the problem's gone, so why do we need you? Why do we need to be giving you all this money? The problem's solved. So they're not going to want to solve a problem. You know, hours of service, sleep schedules, and accidents. Drivers are going to be pushed to whatever the probably a little bit further. It doesn't matter 10 on and 8 off. It was when I started, you know, or you're running 5 and 5, and no. This is, if you can hear me, this is the part I was telling you it's going to lose its signal through. but I've only got like a mile or like and it shows it's shorted stay. It's like work. There's holder is overflowing with them. They have, and the reason they say there's a driver shortage is they want to cycle people in and out. They want to use people up and throw them away because they don't care about you. Economics. Can send the little guy. It does not. The government does not want owner operators. You know, they want to get rid of all of us. They want a handful of big companies, which is one of my fears with Donald Trump. I'll get to that in just a second. Because the ATS is who he's, I think they're called the ATS. That's the ones that's in his ear. It's like American ATS, like that. I had the actual acronym, it's the AT something. American Trucker Association, whatever. ATA, something like that. But they're the ones who are talking to Donald Trump right now. And that doesn't mean that he's going to have anything in truck drivers' interest. Because that organization does not represent truck drivers. Just because they put truck drivers in the name, let's see who's out there. I carried it. I think Sick Bastard. Yeah, I got somebody behind me and they're going to want me to go. I probably should have already went, but what they represent is a handful of large companies like Schneider and Warner and Swift, all those guys. And those guys, they're the ones who are pushing for like the speed limiters and all that. They want everybody driving 62 because an owner-operator that doesn't have a governed truck like they do can get the load there legally by driving 70, 75 miles an hour. And they don't want that owner-operator to be able to do that. And, you know, people will pay the owner-operator of a small company to do what that big company can't do. So they want to crush us. That's what they want to do. And that's who's got their lips in our current president's ear. You know, it's concerning. But I don't know. The way our government works is just messed up. It's like they don't care if you did the inspection, they want to see the paperwork for it. So you can sit on the toilet in the morning and fill out your inspection, and as long as they have the documentation, you know, that's what they're more concerned with. Jesus, that dog scared me. Heard him go woof woof right beside me at the last second. They must be going the same way I am. That light's behind me. But they're going to push, the brokers and everybody are going to push people to the limit. That's never going to change. How the oil field uses the visas to bring people in. You go to North Dakota, there's a bunch of people from, what is that, Guyana, whatever they brought over, in the one that's in Africa. There's another one, sounds similar in South America, but the one in Africa. And I'm like, and the dude that used to unload me, he was really cool. You know, And I mess with them. I'm like, how the hell did you end up in Williston, North Dakota? You go from the equator in Africa to the exact opposite. It's 20 below zero. How did you end up here? You know, did you know what you were getting into? But they recruit over there and they bring people in, you know. We've got a problem right now where if somebody hears an accent, they think you're illegal, you know. No, they're over here legally. Or if they hear an accent, they think you can't speak English. And it's like, I can understand everything they're saying. So that's picking up big time. The racism, the Slavophobia, the anti-Slavic sentiment, which is a real thing. You want to look it up, there's a history to it. A lot of us have died because of it. But, you know, now they put your jobs out there, and it's like, they're taking your jobs, you know. And our companies that have a lot of recs, hiring a lot of them, like FedEx, yes. I have a theory on that having more to do with the scheduling of companies like FedEx. Has a lot more to do with why they have so many recs than whether they have a lot of Eastern European drivers, you know. And on the other end of it, more brown-skinned people. I got a friend, and he's from San Antonio, and he's down by Del Rio, backed in the dock, waiting for him to come in. And the local sheriff asked him for his green card. And he's like, I don't have a green card. He gives him his CDL, shows him his paperwork. I'm waiting for him to, to get in to unload me. And the sheriff's getting all mad. And he's like, I don't have a green card. And the guy gets a state trooper out there. And he's like, look, I was born in San Antonio, Texas. I don't have a green card. You know? There's more bullshit like that that's starting up. And it's being used to manipulate people. It's a tool. Both sides use it, by the way. The Democrats use it, the Republicans, the left and the right use it. If you don't think the left's racist, go back to COVID. What do they call that form of racism where it's basically like, you're calling them savages? There's a specific word for it slipping my mind. They're talking about, it's what they eat and how they live, Chinese people. And meanwhile, the clinics across the street, the Wuhan Institute for Virology. So, sorry about that, dude. Hello, Mr. Doggy. How you doing? The doggy walking down the street. Doggies are awesome. I get up here to the stop sign. I'll look at my thing. See if I can read it. I need glasses too. And I've got to have a physical that I'm not supposed to have yet. It's insane. I just see a lot of hatred ramped up. And it's like anything involving, it's like, okay, they hired a woman, it must be DEI. Doesn't matter how many years she has in the field, how many certifications, how much experience she has, how good she is. Must be DEI. Oh my God, she's a lesbian. It has to be a DEI hire. DEI has gotten to the point of, it's like when the left screams Nazi. It's like, okay, they scream, oh, it's a Nazi. It's like, you have no argument, nothing intelligent to say. All you can do is scream that they're a Nazi. I've got family that face real Nazis. I've got higher standards for what I call a Nazi. And then they're right, anything they don't like, it's DEI, it's DEI. And just scream it like, mindless zombies, which is pretty much what you got. You got the far left and the far right, and it seems like both of them are incapable of thought, critical thinking. I don't know. It's crazy. Same kind of people that walk up. It's like, what's it to you? You're talking to someone on the phone who's not speaking. You can be having a business conversation with someone in another country, or talking to someone in another country in a different language, and they're getting all offended because you're not speaking English. It's like you're not even talking to them. That level of stupidity, It's like, what the hell? That kind of people. Louder and more vocal. And if you wonder my opinion as far as the truck driving industry, do you need to be able to speak English? Yes, you do. You need to be able to speak English and proficiently. People need to be able to understand you. You need to be able to read the street signs. You need to know what's in your trailer. So on that part, we agree, Yes, you definitely need to be able to speak English. 100%. And now we have states like Arkansas that are giving people tests during inspections. Read this, write this, say this, making sure that they can read and write and speak English. Shouldn't that have been done at the driver's license office? Alright, let's see if I can read this. Who's out there, or was, if I haven't pissed everybody off. Dave's channel. You're awesome, dude. Sick bastard. Desert Outlaw. Y'all are awesome. But nobody's watching, so I might have pissed all of you off. I don't know. It's like, you just see the way people are manipulated and how politicians use hate. So you got people burning Teslas. How fucking stupid is that? And you have all these state legislatures. They're still going after, I don't call it gay marriage. I call it marriage, and they want to end that still. They got all these anti-LGBT bills going through all the legislatures, and, just to remind you that the hate is still there. It's like, lovely. We were doing better as a country. And then even Donald Trump's first term, I'm kind of wondering if Donald Trump's really got the reins of things in a way. I mean, hear me out on this. There's the movement, and then there's Donald Trump. There's MAGA, and then there's Trump. And I think the first term that's really Trump. And I think at this point, what you have is more this movement. And that's really more what's in control. Like, he doesn't really have full reins of everything. And there's something bigger that's going on. I don't like the Democrats, I don't like the Republicans. So, I mean, they both want to take different rights away from me. I'm not giving up my wife, I'm not giving up my guns. I grew up in a generation of the speech that must be protected is the speech that you don't like. You know, actual free speech. Allowing the speech that you don't want to hear. Allowing people to say the things that you don't want said. That is free speech. You know? So it's a little different. And I think one of the reasons that doctor maybe, I guess where I kind of got off. They're immigrants. At least they sound like it. Number two, a lot of brown people and people with accents and stuff like that I've seen go in there, you know. Maybe somebody saw that. I don't know. I don't know why he's being targeted. Or her. Might have something. But the Houston area, Houston is a minority majority city. So any place you go, you're going to look at a bunch of people that do not look like me. You know? Unless you go to like River Oaks or something, I don't know. So I just wonder if that's got something to do with it. I don't know. But I know it's really messing my world up. I gotta take a physical. My job's on the line every time I take a physical. Yeah. And most everything's political bullshit anymore. Let's see, how can we make the people on the left hate these people on the right? Okay. Now how can we make the people on the right hate the people on the left? What can we use to manipulate these people? You know? And that's what's done. We're soon coming to a breaking point. I mean, we're set up for the economy to crash regardless of Trump. Maybe that's going to be the breaking point. We keep kicking it down the road and we keep bailing everything out. We've done that my whole life, every decade or so. You know, in the 80s, we bailed everybody out. In the 90s, we bailed them out again. In the aughts, whatever you want to call them, we bailed them out again. Every decade or so. Keep growing that debt. That's the other thing, too. It's like, it seems like the right only cares about the debt when the Democrats have power. So it's like, what the fuck? We got way too much debt. It's skyrocketing. And people talk about, you know, like 1 or 2% inflation, like it would be a good thing if we could get it down to that. And it's like, no, it's still going in the wrong direction. You know? You need that inflation to be closer to 0 or negative. This bullshit about devaluing our dollar for growth, nah, that's bullshit. We need to figure out a way to get a surplus in there. Start applying it towards the debt. You know? Stop spending our money on useless things. If you want to stop illegal immigration, start bankrupting the companies that hire them. Supply and demand. You'll stop nearly all of it. I mean, right now you got different things going on, using fear and hate to solve the problem. It's not going to fix it. Temporarily, sure. But where there's a will, there's a way. And if there's a demand, that demand is going to be supplied. One way or the other. Not as far as your produce getting picked. The same guy's probably going to pick your produce. If you've ever been out to those fields in California getting loaded. Yeah, they're not hiring illegals to do that. They had a whole migrant worker thing going on over there. Or in South Texas. Those are huge multi-million-dollar corporations, multi-billion-dollar corporations worldwide. You know, now that rag factory downtown that tears up rags and stuff like that and boxes them up for, you know, whatever use they're doing, whether it's shop rags or whatever. That place might. I don't know. But I doubt it's Dole or Del Monte or TNA or Crunch Pack or any of those. You know. Life's weird. I don't see any more comments or anyone watching, so maybe I'll piss someone off talking about the wall. We're how many trillions of dollars in debt? We've already got the wall in most of the places that you would need a wall. And the only purpose it would really serve is to funnel people to different areas. You know? You could do better just with technology, paying this Border Patrol better, putting more Border Patrol officers out there would be way cheaper. And go after anyone that hires them. You know? It'd be way cheaper. Far more effective. I don't know. I see a lot of hate in the world right now. I don't like it. I see a lot of hate directed at me, and I don't like it. And let's get real. That's what most people care. They don't care about shit until it affects them. You know? And that's just the way humanity works. And I've got to be up early, and I'm tired. And the grind never ends until it does. It may be ending real quick. If it ends that way, I'll probably lose everything I have. You know? It's like people think, okay, even the right wants to put everybody in a box. They think, okay, this is what you are, so you automatically think this way and you support this, that, and the other. And that's just not the way it is. I'm going to stop up here at the gas station. I'm going to read this thing when I get up there. Again, I'll see another comment. That doesn't really mean anything, you know? I don't believe in this equity crap. I believe in equality, gender, all that stuff. Just take all that stuff off the job applications. Only thing that should be on there is your qualifications for the job. You're an engineer. What does anything else matter towards that? Where did you get your degree from? Who have you worked for? How good are you at math? You know? You're hiring somebody to load trucks with a forklift. What does any of that matter? It don't. Now there are some jobs where you may specifically need a woman or a man or what have you. You know, there may be some women or some men who can do the job. I get that. Trust me, I do. But for the most part, I don't think any of that needs to be on a job application. That should be, what qualifications do you have for the job? That should pretty much be it. Let's see what's on here. J-Man, unfortunately, hate is everywhere. And not just at you. Yeah. No, this isn't a Wawa. This is a Fuel Max. We don't have the Wawa in Texas. But I did get to go to the Wawa when I was in Florida for the October camp out. That place is pretty cool. We have Buc-ee's. And I don't like Buc-ee's. So, it's a tourist trap with shitty barbecue. You'll be better off going to Woody's or someplace like that where they have real barbecue and not a shitty chopped beef sandwich. So, there's another place called the Texan that has some actual kolaches. I'll put it to you this way. If they give you a kolache and it has meat in it, that's not a kolache. It's actually a klobasnik. But, kolache, which basically means small cake or cookie, you know, be filled with like peach or apricot or poppy seeds. I make blueberry kolaches. That's a kolache. That other thing is a pig in a blanket. And they have those. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, this isn't a Street Glide. This is a Lowrider ST. And it's a 2023 Lowrider ST. M8 117. It's an awesome bike. I don't know how many more people are out there because this thing says 0 and it's back on top messages. I don't know why. Okay, I'm trying to see what I'm doing. Discard. Here we go. Chat filter. Back to all messages. There we go. But Sick was out here. Desert Outlaw was Dave's channel. Thank you all so much. Now it shows there's 3. They do way too much with the pen. Whether it's Obama or Bush or Trump or Biden. The last president to leave us with a surplus was Clinton. Whether you like him or not. Or how he finagled it. Because you can... the numbers are a little bit screwy, but the end result was we had a surplus. No, he did not pay off the national... I hear people say that he paid off the national debt. No, he didn't. He left... And it really wasn't him. It was the struggle between him and the Congress and the Senate, because we had the whole that was Bob Dole and what's his name, Gingrich, and all of them were in there, and that struggle between the two different sides that left us for once with a surplus that should have then been applied to the debt, and we haven't seen it since. You know, I'm spinning. Yeah, it might be. It might be spinning. You have a 23 Heritage. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But anyways, I'm going to have to go get home and do my thing and get some sleep and blink for about 4 hours. Because I got to take a reading on my machine, and I just thought I'd go live for a little bit. Because I'm having storage problems with my phone. Lovely storage problems. And I go to try to... It's taking too much time to try to download a video, and GoPro wants to split it in half. Instead of being 35 minutes, it's 28 minutes, followed by 7 minutes. And then I have to download the video instead of just sending it, you know. So I download it and then I have to send it to an editing app just so I can put the two videos together. Because y'all know me, I don't do a whole lot of editing and stuff. It's more whatever comes to mind while I'm writing, and follow the bouncing ball with ADD motorcycle chats here. So That just is what it is. But, let's see. Yeah. But I'll catch y'all later. Y'all are awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and get home, eat supper, and go to bed, and wake up, and do it again, and again, and again, and again. And one day I'll die, and I'll finally get some sleep. And if anybody fucking wakes me up, then I'm gonna haunt them. So, I'll catch you later. You're all awesome. Love you all. And I'll catch you later. So, adios, vaya con Dios. Sayonara. Ciao. Nashla. This is I'll catch you.